Right, folks, so this is part 5 of this build of the Re-Amiga 1200. We're done. The board is done, is finished. So now we need to put this in a case, in a proper case. You notice also I have debuffered ID CF card reader. Now this is working. I can't really get this one to read, but I suspect it's because I have it formatted and it's as DF0 and DF1 or DH0, DH1. So there might be some conflict. So this one is working. This one I couldn't quite get to work yet. Worry about that some other time. And this actually connects into the back of the case. Speaking of which, I have this that was sent to me by Stephen. Thank you very much to Terrible Fire. And there is also some stuff from amigastore.eu, and there's stuff like the Gotek and just a few bits and bobs to finish the build. So we are going to put this motherboard into this. So this is white. This is a white one. We also have a keyboard to worry about. We need to plug in the Gotek. Actually, I haven't checked whether that works at all. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. What's going on? What's going on?
Execute Route 66.
You're not, I'm not, it's not it.
They offer PCB manufacturing and part assembly, of course, but they also offer a number of other services like CNC machining, metal sheet fabrication, 3D printing, and even injection molding. Pretty much anything you need for all your projects. Go to PCBWay.com, upload your project files, and get an instant quote. And thank you to them for sponsoring this video. I'm a Space Lord.
That's not what it's called. Ah, wow. Nice. These are really nice cases. Very white. It's a bit like it doesn't have the beige of the original, but it's still very nice. How does this slot together? I want to open this. Oh yeah, it's screwed in. So we have stuff inside. We have, I believe this is a connector, IDC connector, all this kind of stuff for a Gotek. Let's just get some screws. Oh, we got a membrane. Nice. Let's take care of that. Yeah, so that's the membrane for the keyboard, and I do have a spare keyboard. We'll worry about that later on. Right. Oh, nice. Not sure which way this goes. So this would be 12 volts. And it's on this side. So yellow is over there. There you go, we got our LEDs working, and I think the Gotek is indeed lit up. Oh my god. We'll have to start worrying about the keyboard. What I have here is a spare Amiga 500 keyboard. This is the same, the layout here is the exact same as the 1200, which I have here. And even the enter key here is the same one. There's a different one where that notch here is at the bottom, but this is actually the model you want. So in theory, technically, this should actually work. I just need to change the membrane, remove this, because the membrane has a long connector, and that should connect directly into your motherboard, which has all the stuff for the keyboard, whereas here it was actually on this little daughter board. So I'm going to remove this, remove all the 500 screws here, and we might need to do some little cosmetic fittings. I don't think the Amiga, this guy 1200 has this bar here and these little notches, so we might need to do some creative fitting here, especially here. This might actually go in the way of the the case, the LED board. So let's just take this apart. Also, the other thing is, as you can see, this is very, very yellow, so we'll need to do a clean. It needs a clean for sure, and it probably needs a retro bright. The only problem with that at the moment, there's been no sun for a month. Since the beginning of July, it's been just horrible torrential weather here in Ireland, and quite cold as well. So retro biting in those conditions isn't going to help much. As I am editing this, I realize I should probably clarify something. So the Re-Amiga 1200 has a connector on the motherboard for the Amiga 500 keyboard. So technically, I could actually plug that keyboard right into the motherboard. The only problem with that is the membrane on that keyboard was dead. It was cracked. The thing was no longer working, and so the only option I have is either source another 500 membrane, which is silly. I have that 1200 membrane, and that keyboard layout is compatible. So hence why I'm hacking this keyboard 2 bits to make it fit. But yeah, this is the idea behind it. If you have a working 500 keyboard, you should be able to plug that right into the Re-Amiga 1200 without any problem. I don't know how many of these there are, but there are a lot, and you don't want to lose them. So here, the plastic is actually bumping against that. So it's nothing a little bit of a friendly bit of Dremel cannot take care of. I think we're good everywhere else. What about this guy? Yeah, I'll probably need to cut this here and here, because this is going to get in the way of the Gotek, I suspect. It's not offering any structural any yeah, I need to remove this as well anyway. So I need to cut here. So this is just going to be dangling. This has to go. So we're going to cut the plastic right here and the metal here and here. So you can pretty much cut that entire area kind of flush. I didn't bother with here. There's another thing here. You need a space for the ribbon. So I cut a notch in the metal here and in the plastic. So the ribbon doesn't actually just you know, get clamped between the metal and the plastic, because that there's an edge that will actually go like that and then back like that. That's one way to wreck your ribbon. Yeah, that clears everything. It's perfect. Okay, next test is obviously the ribbon. Yeah, so this is what I mean here. It just let me just bring this, because my phone is on a charger right now, and yeah, so this is what you want. You want this to be just flat, no kink and no pressure apply onto that edge, because that's what breaks normally. And oh, my God! Oh, look at this! Oh, I'm so happy. I built a full Amiga 1200 from scratch. This is so cool. I know people probably do 5 of them in a day, but this is a big deal, big achievement for me and for this channel, essentially. We're not done. We're not done. There's a few upgrades we can already do with this. And I think, so I have a 1200 here. This is stock. It's got a Terrible Fire card, 1260. I'm going to put that card in here. And now that I see it, I am going to get myself a different box. and different set of keys. So we'll keep all the mechanics and everything from the keyboard, but we'll change the keycaps. I might retro-write these at some point in the future, but not for now. And it'll be useful as maybe replacement keys for over there. So I'm going to order keycaps and a box in this video from Amiga1200.net. And I've seen they've some in stock. So I'll also get not a UK but US keyboard, because they're out of cap keys that I want for the UK. And the US is very similar. I think there's like 2 or 3 keys that are different. Honestly, I won't be doing much typing with this machine anyway. So yeah, let's continue this build. Right, at this point, there's a couple of upgrades that I want to do on this Gotek. Let me remove here. So if you look here, the screen is here, and when the box is closed, it's a nice OLED screen, but it's hard to see what you're selecting. So I've seen a few people with top boxes on their Amiga. So I want to do one of those and just fit it to this Gotek. So what we'll need is, well, we have the OLED, but I'm actually going to use another one, a second one. So I'll keep this one here, and I'm going to use one in parallel, this guy here, which is slightly smaller. Essentially, this is what I'm talking about. This is the box people use. This one is badly printed, but it serves a purpose. But the screen can fit here. However, the enclosure is a bit too small for it. Too big, sorry. So I've redone this very design. You can see the gap here. So I've redone this very design to fit one of these. So I'm going to print that. I'm going to use that in parallel. And the hole here is for a rotary encoder. So normally you select back and forth in the menu between all the different disk images with those 2 buttons. It's a bit awkward, and once the case is closed, it's hard to get to. So I'm using one of those, which you can already plug in pretty much using the headers provided. So some Goteks have headers, extra headers here that you can use, but they're all the same. They all have these headers. You have your ground and +5. You have your switch is right here, the white lead. And then you have the other 2, which is, I think, the clock and, yeah, something else. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much. Just look online. You'll find the required files or documentation online. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to reprint this guy, and then find a way to maybe mount this, solder it directly underneath the board, and then use those jumpers to connect to this guy as it is already. It works. It's the same thing as this. It's just different form factor. And I have those because I use them for my sort of a homemade modular stuff. So I've used those. I have a stock of those. So that's what I'm going to use. The other thing, and you can see it here, is that that mouse part thing is actually, it doesn't quite stop anywhere. Normally you'd probably have a common backplate that you can bolt this to, but I don't have one of those. So what somebody has already made, which is very handy, is one of those guys. You clip that to the back, so I'm going to have to open the case and remove it, and clamp this onto this one, and this edge clamps to this edge, and it secures your mouse port. And I won't have to be fiddling my way through to try and connect the mouse every time I reconnect it. So this one is black. It doesn't matter because you won't see it once it's installed. But I have it in black, and so is this one, because I've ordered a new box and keycaps, and it should be here in a couple of weeks, hopefully. And they will be darker. All right, so I got my other little OLED display just was soldered just right underneath. I made a little connector, and I'm going to use, that's not long enough really, so I'm going to use a male connector and going to do that into a female connector as an extension, and it'll allow me to disconnect everything when I open the case. But there you go. I was actually afraid that there wouldn't be enough power for both of them. This one is interesting. I don't know why, but they have a little kind of yellow top. They were probably some sort of OEM. I got these from AliExpress, and there were probably some overflow from some sort of OEM stuff that requested that this was yellow. It's actually it's not bad. Yeah, sorry. If it's idle for 20 seconds, and you can see it all works with the rotary encoder. So I suspect that's what they were, just overstock and probably flog them for cheap. But I got about, I don't know, a dozen of these. So that's handy. So I'm printing the box right now. I can safely put everything back together, I think. I also got that little mounting thing here for the floppy. So now this is in place. It's actually very nice and tidy. I like it. And it's inside, so you don't really see it from the outside. So it's okay on a white case. Cool. Very happy with that. That might work well, actually, having that. It's sort of almost demo-like, if you know what I mean. You know, those cool demo fonts that had some it's like two-tone color reflection thing going. And there you go. That's the look I was looking for. So this one is black on the white case, but the case I'm getting is going to be darker, almost kind of dark gray, and you can see it's a 3D print. I've just lightly sanded it as best as I could, just to give it a smoother but yet rough look. So I just sprayed a little tiny bit of paint. The alternative is to have it, that was another print, look like that, which is just a bit. It's not bad, but it's just so obviously screaming 3D print. I kind of prefer that look. But that's just me. I might sand it a little bit down, a little bit, just to remove some of that gloss. But anyway, so it's working as expected. Actually, doop. There you go. Okay, so I just got the box in the mail. So that was pretty quick from Amiga. Or a1200.net, but these aren't the Kickstarter ones or anything like that. These are the Arashi. So this one looks it's very dark and lovely, but it's slightly see-through in the light. So meaning I'm hoping when there's LEDs, actually the grid here is a lot more see-through than the white case. I'm hoping that the LEDs inside will actually light up, which will come in handy because the 1260 from Terrible Fire has some lights on it. That version, I think there's only 5 or so made. I think Gadget was the one. Terrible Fire certainly got a couple. I have one, and I don't know who else has one, but pretty cool, pretty cool. And I have the black keys. Slowly changing the keys. My God, look at this. So the keys themselves come on this panel here. So you just pop the keys from the underside, and that's it, you're done. Now, oh my God, the keyboard. I mean, they do deliver a great product. A1200.net. So happy with this. It looks really good, but look at this. Oh my God. This has to be my favorite of the lot. The slide blue tint is very subtle, and you could actually put it down to just light, local light, shining some blue on it. But it looks very, very black, very. Oh, I'm so happy. This is so cool. And final touch. Let's just see. Ah, yeah, we do see the light of different LEDs shining through. I still need to put obviously the lights here. And there's a cool feature in the workbench. If you open a shell, let me get rid of this. And this is a feature on that special edition that Stephen Terrible Fire sent me. And type in, and actually... keyboard is working, type in sweep, This will generate, let me just unplug, I might lose my, there's a series of LED lights. I can kind of see them through the plastic. It's pretty cool. You can see the faint glow coming, just changing out of here. But look underneath, like a spaceship in there. Oh, this is so cool. Such a cool effect. I think if you're going somewhere, having this on a slight rise, or even just a like little pad of half an inch or something like that, would actually make quite an effect. You can sort of see it through as a reflection through the plastic. Actually, it's just really cool. If it was just a darker environment, you'd definitely see the glow through the plastic. Oh my god. All right, we got everything back together, and I think this is going to be it. I mean, my beautiful blue workbench, I much prefer this workbench than the grey, and even some of the modern workbench. I know there's some cool features, but this is essentially the nostalgia that I want on the machine that I want and the machine that I built. This is going to be it for this series of video. Thank you for sticking with me for now, what is 5 videos, I think. This was certainly an interesting learning curve for me, an interesting project, kind of a big deal because I'd never done any project like that, at least not on that scale for SMD soldering. So yeah, this was a cool project, and thank you first to Chucky for putting this board together, as in the tracing the original PCB and making all the revisions on the Re-Amiga. This is one of the Re-Amiga he has. He's done more of them for different models of Amiga, and he does other stuff as well. The diagnostic ROMs and far more. So thank you, Chucky, for your time and dedication to the hobby and the community. It's amazing. Also, Terrible Fire for sorting me out with a lot of parts and being super patient with all my questions. Whenever there was a problem, I'd go crying to him, and he's been super helpful. So thank you, dude, for that, and thank you for the parts. And well, yeah, thank you everybody who's commented on some of my mistakes throughout this build. There was a few, and thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting. Man, I'm so happy with this computer. It's going to look cool once I bring it as well to Amiga Ireland, and I might start going to maybe Amiga events and show this thing. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. I hope this was interesting. See you next time.